Jules Kounde completes his deal. It's a here we go to Barcelona. Another nail in the coffin. Another big piece of frustration for Chelsea fans all around the world. But reports that they are about to open talks officially with the representation of Fofana to try and advance this deal, as well as reaching out to Leicester City to gauge their interest in selling. And on top of that, we want to speak about the situation with Timo Werner and Harry Kane. Harry Kane is of major interest to Chelsea Football Club, and this at the same time that Juve are looking to loan Timo Werner. Should they push for that deal, and what should Harry Kane want out of this situation? We're discussing it all live on the Football Terrace. Make sure you smash that like button, you subscribe to the Football Terrace. Let's go! It's been an interesting transfer window for Chelsea. You can't get away from it. There have been so many targets they've gone for and lost out on. What next? What next is the biggest question around. What's next? What do they do? Where do they go? What's their kind of reaction? We've got the here we go from Fabrizio, which for most people is the kind of nail in the coffin that a player's gone. It's it. You can see it here. Here we go. Verbal agreement now in place with Sevilla. But what next? What next for Chelsea Football Club? And I want to hear from Chelsea fans on this. We're opening up the lines tonight for you to come on and have your say. I want to know what's going through your minds. I want to know how you really feel about this, because it isn't the first player to slip through your fingers this year. It isn't the first player that's now not going to be a Chelsea player. But Chelsea have got plans. Chelsea are still looking at other individuals. One of them we've already mentioned this morning with Ben Jacobs. But what's been interesting since we spoke with Ben Jacobs is the kind of advancements in this deal. So firstly, Bobby Vincent here from Football London has stated that Chelsea are about to open talks with Wesley Fofana's representatives, possibly as early as today, over a move to Stamford Bridge. Now, we know when these talks start to take place, the idea is to advance it. These are advanced talks. These will be detailed pieces of information. What's your player think? What does he want? What would it cost? What does his status got to be? What's his personal situation? What can we do to essentially whet the appetite of the player, not to get him to force the move away from Leicester? That's the wrong way to look at it, but to be interested in leaving. And of course, Simon Phillips, very well trusted in the Chelsea football community, has stated today that I'm told Chelsea will approach Leicester today to gauge if they will entertain talks for Fofana this window. So it does appear that Chelsea Football Club are responding to this Jules Kounde situation, and they are going to go out their way and they are going to try and sign another top-class centre-back. And interestingly, Fofana's at level. Fofana can sit there next to players like Jules Kounde and say, I want you. That horrible leg break at the beginning of last season, but of course has recovered from it. He is back playing. A setback, but a top class player. But Chelsea have got to get something done. Chelsea have got to get something over the line at the back. Koulibaly signing's great. Raheem Sterling's great. But there's been a couple of deals now where you felt, Chelsea have got this in the bag and it slipped through their fingers, and you can feel that frustration in the fan base. You can sense that frustration even from some of the Chelsea media in many ways, because they're being told, oh, we've got this deal pretty much done, or this is going to happen. And then it doesn't really come to fruition. And then there's a whole sort of hullabaloo, a big level of frustration. But Fofana to advance, do you guys see this happening? Can you see a deal being struck? I will quote what Ben Jacobs said earlier on today, in case you didn't watch the show. 70 million minimum. What they believe is that it's going to cost 70 million minimum just for Leicester to go, well, maybe we'll talk. So you are probably looking nearer 80 million pounds is an acceptable bid if you want to bring him away. But are Chelsea getting to a point where they're going to get desperate? Are Chelsea getting to a stage where this is what they're going to have to do? Are we getting to a point with Chelsea where that's what, they're going to have to go out their way and bring in someone of that ilk, someone of that level for that kind of money? That's the big question I've got for you all this afternoon. And Chelsea fans, what do you think and feel about it? Because for all intents and purposes, that's the most important element here. It really is. What do you all think about it? That's what I want to know. That's what I'm interested in above and beyond everything else. What do you all think about it? Now, before we go any further today, of course, I want to introduce you to our brilliant sponsors, Private Internet Access. This is the number one choice for VPN. So my number one choice is what I use. I can give you 3 months free and 52% off. What they do is absolutely brilliant. As you can see here, all your personal information from your thumbprint, your Face ID, your passwords, your card details are all protected, and it's available on all your devices. Any device you've got, it is available on right about now. You can also access your content anywhere in the world. Multiple other brilliant features as well, including 24 hours a day telephone support. And look, as you can see, the normal monthly price you can see on the left-hand side here is $8.99 a month. Because of me, you can get it for £1.60 free. So get yourself signed up to that. Make sure you are not being silly and searching and using the internet with no protection. That honestly would be a madness. So you need to go and get that sorted out. Get that done at the end of this stream, people. I know hundreds of you have already done it, so a massive thank you to you. I want to go to some of these comments that are coming through here. Fofana to Chelsea. Chelsea are trying to advance this. Some believe that the talks have already moved into that advanced stage, sitting down with representation, speaking to the football club. Do they have to act quickly? Are they panicking, Chelsea? I want your thoughts and I want your feelings on this right about now. Outcast here says, come on, Chelsea, just play with Colwell and maybe sign like Dumfries or something. Still need another attacker after this. Chelsea in the mud is what Mark believes is kind of going on here. Let's have a look at some more of your comments. Terry, this is frustrating. It's 2:40 a.m. and I can't with this. Shoot the link. Link is coming very soon, my friend. We'll get you on to have your say. Remember, by the way, if we hit 850 likes, we will gift out more free memberships. From next week, all of our new membership content will start to drop on the terrace. So you want to get yourself signed up to squad level and above for that, my people. Let's take a look at some more of your comments here. Injured Fofana is better than Sarr. Yeah, most defenders are better than Sarr, to be fair. He's so average. There was so much expectation of him being good, and it just hasn't worked out. It really has not worked out at all how people saw it with him. He's just erratic and clumsy would be the word I'd use. Prime here says, Leicester do great business. I don't... and I don't only mean in terms of the outgoings, the money they get, but the business they do to bring in top talent. I mean, one of the things I think you should do maybe with Leicester, and this isn't Chelsea, this is in general, is just work out who they're going to buy to replace Fofana and buy him instead. That's what I would do. So buy the Fofana before he's Fofana, Buy the Fofana before he's Fofana is what I think needs to happen. That's what I say anyway, but that's just me. Now, another one of the stories that I wanted to gauge and speak about is Timo Werner's wanted. Timo Werner is wanted by Juventus. They've approached Chelsea about a loan move. There's talk about Newcastle also being interested as well. So there's a number of teams that are showing a real interest in Timo Werner. And you think, okay, well, that's good. Get rid of him, move him on. Chelsea need to do that. But we saw the news yesterday, and this is the second time in a week that a big club has been linked to Harry Kane. We saw the news from Christopher Falk yesterday saying, true, Harry Kane is very interesting for Chelsea. He does state that the club believed that Tottenham would prefer to sell Kane to a club like Bayern Munich instead of an English competitor if Kane won't sign a new contract. Now, of course, we knew what we were going to get instantly from the top British journalists was impossible, untouchable. They're not going to negotiate. They're not going to think about it. As a football fan, though, there's something about this. It's the second club in a week that have shown the interest has come out. Bayern Munich speaking publicly, Chelsea now being linked. And of course, as Ben Jacobs said this morning, he's right. Of course, there's always going to be interest in a player like Harry Kane because he's one of the best strikers in the world. But I just look at it and honestly think to myself, Harry Kane should be pushing for this himself. Harry Kane should sit down tonight with his wife, with his brother, and say, oh, look, because I listened to what Ben said earlier, and I just thought to myself, the feeling might be good at Tottenham right now, and the feeling might be bad at Chelsea, but Chelsea will win more in the next 5 years than Spurs will. I'm not convinced Spurs will win a thing. Chelsea will win trophies in that time, especially if they have a Harry Kane. If suddenly Chelsea announce Harry Kane today as their new number 9, Sterling one side of him, a bit of Mount the other in this formation with 3 at the back, suddenly Chelsea are a different animal. Suddenly everybody's expectations for Chelsea go through the roof. Suddenly more players are attracted to Chelsea Football Club. This, for me, is a deal. And it's hard. Chelsea don't want to get more egg on their face. Chelsea don't want to get rejected. But legitimately, it's why I put the poll out. It's why I'm not even doing this to try and wind Spurs fans up. This isn't a dig. Everyone knows I've had a 5-year campaign. Harry Maguire, in my opinion, should get himself out of Tottenham. He absolutely should get himself out of Tottenham. I don't care how good Antonio Conte is. There'll be these dark horses. They'll do well. They'll make Champions League. They'll be a threat. They might win a League Cup. They could scrape an FA Cup. But I still look at Harry Kane and think this is the kind of player that has to win leagues and win Champions Leagues for his ability and his goal scoring levels and his creativity levels to be on par with his legacy in the game. League Cups and FA Cups are not going to cut it. They're not going to cut it. And I know this infuriates Tottenham fans to hear, but I stand by it every single step of the way. And I've been stating this now for years. Harry Kane has got to leave Tottenham. I don't care that Conte's there. I don't care they've had a great summer. I don't care that Basuma and Jed Spence and Richarlison have gone there. I don't care about Bentancur and Son and Kulusevski. I don't care about any of these guys. They're all great. I don't think Spurs are winning. I don't think Spurs are going to win the Champions League or the Premier League in the next 4 to 5 years. There's nothing about what they're doing that makes me believe that's going to happen. They've had a good summer. They've signed some good players. They've got a brilliant manager. But they will be also runs, as we've seen them be for the entirety of my life. The best Spurs team I've ever seen didn't win anything. Seen as an adult. I did see him win an FA Cup when I was younger. But ironically, Poch's teams were better than those teams. They didn't win anything. And I look at this and just think to myself, everyone's been really nice to Tottenham. He's untouchable. The club won't sell him. There's the other side of it as well. Spurs should still think about selling him. Over the next couple of years, the value of Harry Kane is going to drop dramatically. Now, I know they're spending big. And everyone's, they've clearly got money, etc. But they should be looking to do a lot more, Tottenham. And you could still today probably get Chelsea to pay you £100 million for Harry Kane. And that £100 million could then be invested into something special, a player or two of real top-class level that you can nurture and develop and get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years out of. Harry Kane isn't going to do that for you. I know he spoke before about, he feels like he can go on for another decade. That's not going to happen. Man's in his late 20s, 4 or 5 years' time with them ankle injuries, and everything else about him. He will be a shadow of himself. He's got the next 4 or 5 years is it for him. He needs to leave to go and win something to build an actual legacy in the game. Because until you win league titles and Champions Leagues, you don't have an elite level. You don't have an elite level legacy. You can't name me players that are looked at as gods of this game who didn't win leagues, Champions Leagues, World Cups, or a combination of the 3. They all had to do it. Harry Kane has to be met with those same standards. I saw a Premier League all-time 11 today, and I cried with laughter. The 2 most successful teams in Premier League history had less representation than everybody else. It's nonsense. Winning medals is the only commodity that elite-level people speak in. Harry Kane could score more goals than Ronaldo. If he don't win anything, no one cares. To a degree. It's like, oh, well done, but what did you win? The reason that Messi and Ronaldo's goals, creativity, consistency is so well regarded is because of the Ballon d'Ors. But why did they win the Ballon d'Ors? Not because of their performances, not because of the goals per se. It was the trophies that came with it. It was the record-breaking trophy horse. It was winning leagues, winning record number of Champions Leagues. It was the combination of everything. So I've said this before and I'll say it again. And this is an opinion piece. Harry Kane in, Timo Werner out for Chelsea. Chelsea should go to Tottenham and just go, look, there's £100 million. What are you saying? They've done it with about 10 other players. They're willing to spend 70 odd million on the lit. 30 million more for the best striker in the Premier League. 30 million more for one of the top 2, top 3 strikers in the world. Chelsea should be doing this. Without a shadow of a doubt in my mind, Chelsea should be going out of their way to buy Harry Kane. I felt all summer there was going to be a shock signing. I felt all summer there was going to be a deal that comes out of nowhere. And this should be it. I'm not saying it will be. I'm not saying there's any rumors it's going to happen. That isn't what I'm saying at all. That is what should happen. Chelsea should go, look, there's 100 mil, 105, 100. Test Harry Kane. Actually make a substantial offer and see. There is a comment here I want to put up from a Spurs fan that says it's not going to happen. It's not about it not happening. Go and do it. Go and try and do it. By the way, Harry Kane should want it to happen. Harry Kane should not want to spend the rest of his life at Tottenham. It is a waste of a career. It's a waste of a career. It really is. Tallest here says 120 gets him. I agree. Yeah, the Tottenham, the hotter Spurs says not going to happen. And maybe it won't. I love how you got Colleen there in her Arsenal kit. That's quality. I like that. I like that. Terry trying to goat Spurs fans into saying Spurs are better than Chelsea. Well, some Spurs fans think they're going to do better than Chelsea this year, and they're entitled to that opinion. But I don't agree. I don't agree. I think. Listen, I don't agree. They're better. They might outperform them over a course of 1 year, but that doesn't make you better than someone. You know, you judge a team based over a 4, 5, 6 year period. So therefore, to be better than Chelsea, they've got to achieve more than Chelsea over a period of time. You know, they haven't. If they finish above them in the league, but Chelsea win the Champions League, they're not better than Chelsea. You know, unless they finish 50 points in front of them or something stupid like that. You get my point, though, yeah? We've got some updates here for you. I want to say a big thank you to Dan, who has become an official member of the Football Terrace. Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you very much indeed. Terry, how does one get on the Top 6 show? You need to reach out to KJ about that, and you may need to send in like a little bit of that's a full panel show. So we need to test whether you've got the personality for it. You can't be dry, bruv. So you might need to have a little chat with KJ, show us what your opinions are like, and go from there if you want to get on. David here says Kane and Fofana will be absolute steals. Yeah, listen, and that's what Chelsea have got to aim for now. Chelsea have got to go big or go home now, because they've missed out on so many targets. You know, De Ligt, Rafinha, Kimpembe's now said no, Kounde. You know, they're still going to lose Alonso and Aspi potentially to Barcelona, who have been their massive adversaries. Kane, Sterling, Mount, Chilwell, James, and potentially Rice. That's half the England team in a domestic side. It's a great shout. And the thing about that is that's all of England. That's a lot of England's best players as well in those positions, all in one team. You know, Chelsea would almost create like England's version of Bayern Munich, you know, where the large percentage of the top German players are at Bayern Munich, right? They could do that, or a big percentage of the top players. It wouldn't be a bad shout. There'd be instant team synergy, instant togetherness, and they could win. Look, I'm not saying that Christian Falk's thing is real. I'm not saying he's going to leave. I'm asking a question. This is more of a question and opinion. Should Harry Kane force that move? Should Harry Kane want Chelsea more than Tottenham? In fact, let me rephrase it. What would be the best club for Harry Kane over the next 5 years? Chelsea or Tottenham? Where would be the best place for him? Legitimately, where would be the best place for Harry Kane? I want to hear from you. I want your thoughts and I want your feelings. I really, really do care what you think about this. The Hottest Spurs says Chelsea going for Kane is just setting themselves up for yet another rejection. Maybe. But my question isn't that. My question isn't will they get rejected or not. My question is where would be the best place for Harry Kane? That's what I'm asking. It's a very different question. This is fan opinion now over rumors and will a deal go through. Because this is what football conversations are about. You always gas up Chelsea. Yeah, I know. I gas up teams that I think are very good. You're a City fan. I've called you consistently for the past 5 years the best team in the world. Because I think you are. If I see something that I think is real, I'll talk about it. If I don't think it's real, I won't. It's as simple as that for me. We have a jumbo sale at United. Come on, Chelsea. Yeah, but there's a lot of people to buy at Chelsea. There's a lot of players that Chelsea can come by from Man United. That be a fact. Abso-friggin-lutely there. Abso-friggin-lutely. I want to say a big thank you here to my guy Chelsea OG for becoming another official member of the Terrace. We love that here. We really, really do. I want you guys to think about some things you want to add to some of these shows, though. You know, bells, horns, noises, things, elements you'd like us to add to the show moving forward. I think that's some ways to really spice up these shows. I want some suggestions from you, the viewers. Bayern Munich will make the best place for Kane, is what Isco says. I mean, yeah, look, Bayern Munich, Harry Kane should be, when I say forcing his way, I don't know. Yes, that's the point blank way to say it. Harry Kane shouldn't even be considering anything else other than trying to join Bayern Munich or Chelsea, either of the two. But he should not be, for love nor money, thinking about continuing at Tottenham. Least of all, signing a new deal. Unless that new deal has like a good level buyout clause, it's crazy. It's crazy. Chelsea trolling Tottenham fans. I'm not. Answer my question. Where would be better? Listen, Harry Kane going to Chelsea for the next 5 years or staying at Tottenham, what's going to be best for his career? Someone give me a logical reason as to why Tottenham would be better for the career of Harry Kane. I need to understand it. I want to understand it. I really, really do. Ronald here says, speaking of adding, Terry, can you add a City panel to your top 6 show? We do reach out to some Chelsea fans, City fans, but it's about the ones that are good enough being available. And if they're not available or good enough, we won't put them on. Like some people have reached out to come on. Some people did auditions and they sent the videos in and they're not good enough. And that sounds harsh. It's not a call-in show. Call-in's anyone's welcome. But to sit there for an hour and 30, hour and 40 minutes, you've got to be able to hold your own. You've got to be able to talk. You've got to be able to chat. You've got to have some banter. You've got to have something about you. It's hard to find good people. It really is. Text to speech super chat. Oh, that could be I don't know how to do that, but that could be something worth looking at. Maybe we'll look at that one, my friend. Levy is stubborn. He won't let Kane. The question isn't will Levy let him go? The question is, answer my question. My question, please. Please. If he signs for Chelsea or stays at Spurs for the next 5 years, where would be the best place for Harry Kane's career? I want to answer that question. That's the question I want answering. Not whether Levy would like to do the deal or not, because we all know the answer to that. But I'd like to know where Kane should be. That's what I want to know. Terry, get LB and Boovy on. Boovy's going to be at our live show next week in the flesh. So if you want to come down, tickets still available, 3rd of August. Boovy's going to be on our panel. It's going to be a great, great night. I don't know if I must have put it up on the screen before. This is the live event that we've got going on. You can see it there. Anita is going to be at the event, but we've added Carefree Lewis to the panel. We've got Grizz, Ricky Sachs, lead judges, Boovy, Liez, myself and Jess hosting the show. So get yourselves down next week if you want to be there, my people. It's all available for you. Loads of stuff we're doing. And Legends and Super fans, the members get preferential treatment. So let us know if you want to come down and we'll get you in. Let's have a look here. No one's answering the question. Why is no one answering the question? Because we've got one here. There we go. A couple here. Chelsea. Come on. Be honest. I want some honesty from you all. I don't want any more nonsense. Give me some honest answers. My guy Dan here is a Spurs fan from the USA. Says every time someone puts in a super chat, I have to put a vid of Igal saying, come outside Tottenham fans. Yeah, well, that's a good one. Okay. Have I got the video still uploaded, though? That's the question. Do I have the video uploaded? No, I have Igal dancing. Never break. Every time someone super chats over $5 or £5, you get to see Igal dance. That's really cool. Maybe that's a really good feature we could add to the show, actually. Like, we'll make some funny meme videos, and every time something happens, something gets played. Okay, I like that. The shots is always good. Someone in the comments there says, Terry doing vodka shots. Yeah, but I can't do that like at 5, 6 o'clock on like a midweek day. Like, I've got a work and stuff and kids. Simple as that. There we go. Kane to Bayern. Listen, that's where he should go, man. He should go to one of these clubs. Time added on says Chelsea are all over the place as a club, from owners not getting the players in not getting the players into the manager's players and system being a mess. Chelsea, a settled manager team and clear plan for the season ahead. I think that's a fair analysis. I think it's a fair analysis to say that. But I still think Chelsea will be more successful over the next 5 years than Tottenham, if I'm being honest with you. The original Gal intro was the best. Yeah, the original Gal intro was class. It must be somewhere. It must be on my hard drive somewhere. I have to go and find it. Why aren't anyone going for Patrick Schick and Jonathan David? Do you know what Schick means? I've heard it translated. It means stylish or stylish. So Patrick Stylish and Jonathan David. Jonathan David, I don't think he's good enough yet. I've watched him. He's one of those players. I always see his name trending over Twitter, and I'm like, oh, he's playing tonight. I watch him, and then I watch him, and I'm like, meh. That's the only noise that comes into my head is meh. I didn't think much of him at all. So yeah, there's a reason for that. No, come outside is better. All right, well, I'll find the come outside video, and we will use that instead. That must be somewhere. I don't know where it is, but it'll be somewhere on my computer. I'll find it and get it put out there. Let's have a look at some more of these super chats here. 70 million plus Broya for Kane. I mean, that's a great offer. 70 mil plus Broya, Harry Kane to Chelsea. Chelsea win a major trophy this year. 110%. Can't get away from that. It's facts. It's facts. If that happens, it's facts. It's happening. It's happening. It really is. I'm going to go and try and find that Igal video now on Twitter while I'm waiting. All right. While I'm waiting. Terry, I'm going to put in my own tag and then write Igal's name and then put video, click on video. No, that's not it. I don't. I found it. I found it. All right.
I'm Tottenham fans. Where are you?
Right.
Come outside.
So if right, guys, so we'll put the video up. If somebody every super chat over £5 will get that play tonight live on the air. There we go. Also 850 likes, and we're going to gift out some memberships. So make sure you're smashing that like button for us now, my people. The best fit for Kane will be Milan. Apart from that, this season I don't see him moving. But post that, I can see United, Chelsea, Munich going for him. Yeah, look, if Harry Kane stays, my advice to him would be this, legit. Do not sign a new deal, you muppet. And I'd add the muppet bit on the end, like allow yourself a way out, you know. Ola here says, Terry, have United signed De Jong yet? Of course, Chelsea would be the bet for more successful than Spurs. No, De Jong hasn't been signed. As we all know, big report from Holland. You know, I noticed a report from Holland today has not picked up any traction. Very credible report that the agent has told Barca, well, we know there's a club waiting for us, but we're not going until we get our money. Has been brushed under the carpet. Nobody's talking about it. Sky haven't put a headline out or nothing. You know, listen, the deal's on still. The deal is still on. Here we go, people.
Come outside, Tottenham fans. Where are you? Come outside, Tottenham fans. Where are you?
Okay. I'm actually going to download it and upload it onto onto StreamYard. That's going to be a little bit easier, I think, than trying to play it through the than trying to play it through that way, because it doesn't always work so great. But he'll be good for at least 3 years. We should try and sign him. Take a punt, 90 to 100 million. Yeah, look, I think Harry Kane's got 4 to 5 years left in him. 110%. He's got 4 to 5 years left in him, in my opinion. No doubt about it. But there we go. Right, I've downloaded it now. I'm just going to make sure I get a big enough size. Right, that's downloaded.
Come outside.
Sorry, you're going to keep hearing it. You're going to keep hearing it. So I apologize about that. It's downloaded. When I download it, it's going to come up on another screen, and you're going to hear it again. And then I got to upload it because I'm doing it all myself. You see, no tech team. No tech team. All right, no tech team. But we're going to add it in, and every super chat over £5, you get the Igal video played for you because we're just nice like that. But there we go. Let's have a look at some more of your comments. Got any other questions you've got, please feel free to send them in. Stay at Spurs for 1 more year. Jump ship if they do a Spursy. Chelsea over the 5 years, though, is what Martin Whitaker said. That's a fair take. I get that take. And that makes a lot of sense. To be absolutely honest with you, it does. That makes a hell of a lot of sense. Right, people. I don't know if you guys can hear me, see me. We had a power cut and it threw us off. So, yeah, we're back now, people. Hope you're back with us. We're here. Let me know if you can see me. But yeah, literally, I had a power cut.
Yo, what's up, people? Terry is currently indisposed. I don't know what's going on. I just popped up backstage just to see how he was doing, and clearly I've come at the right time because my man cannot get things in order. But that's why I'm here, people. That's why Terry employed your boy KJ here. So how are we all doing right now? Listen, someone said, "Who is this?" My name's KJ. If you don't know who I am, I work for the Football Terrace as content manager. So I am here to back up Terry while he is doing what he's doing. Right. So I don't know what the hell were you guys were going and talking about, but I'm here now. So someone inform me what was going on. What was Terry trying to tell you people? Because I want to chat to you about transfers today. Absolutely do about that. All right, everyone in the chat, thank you for welcoming me back. I haven't been on the show for a while, you know what I mean? Not properly anyway. We was talking about Kane to Chelsea. Kane to Chelsea. If Chelsea ever got Harry Kane, I think they would actually be back. I think Todd B, would automatically go down as one of the best owners in the Premier League. If they got Harry Kane, that is just levels, because that would elevate that team so much. They need a goal scorer. They need someone who can find the back of the net. They've got Kai Havertz, he's a technically good footballer, not the best finisher. They've just shipped off Lukaku to Inter, back to his ex. And then obviously Timo Werner is Timo Werner, and he's looking to leave. So Harry Kane would be absolutely amazing if Chelsea could get him. I don't think that's possible, though. There's no way in hell that Daniel Levy sells Harry Kane to Chelsea. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense at all. So I would be very surprised if Chelsea actually get Harry Kane. But if they did, all I'm gonna say is, that guy Todd B, he would be the guy. He would be their guy, but I don't think he's doing that for sure. How is everyone doing in the comments, though? How are we all doing? Kane is going to KFC, not CFC, says Alex. Oh, I like that one. That was good. Yeah, I agree with you. Zero chance. You know what I'm saying? Zero chance of that happening. There's no way that Kane goes to Chelsea. Solomon says, bring back Church of Vibes. Oi, listen. Don't you worry about that, don't you worry about that. Big things are coming when it comes to the Football Terrace and podcast, and a little bit of vibes is coming back. I know you guys have missed it, but it's on its way back, baby. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. Oh, we got a visitor backstage. I don't know what he's doing, but we'll see. Safe. Oh,
hey. I can't hear nothing, though. I don't know why I can't hear nothing. I actually can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, I can't hear you, which is very weird. Just bear with me a second. Like literally, the whole fucking house, power, everything went. Let me just speak for me.
Yeah. Hello.
Cool, I got you now. Sweet. So we're back. Fuck me. Honestly, like the whole house went off. I didn't know. I didn't know where the fuse box was, put it back on, and then the internet, when the internet's got to load back up again. I was like, I don't need that. Viewers, we're back, people. Make sure like buttons are being smashed. Make sure you're subscribing and everything else, mate. I'm really sorry, people, and cheers for jumping in, mate, and doing that. I think it was Tottenham. I think it was Daniel Levy. He wasn't happy with what I was talking about, mate. I think.
But apparently so. You know what I mean? Harry Kane to Chelsea.
Yeah, it wasn't a very happy. Do you know the maddest bit is? Everyone laughs at my internet, right? This is the fastest internet I've had in a long time. You're talking about like 500 meg internet, and then I get a power cut the first time the second time I live stream with it. You could not make it. We had like 2,500 people watching. Where's everyone gone? Go and get everybody back, people.
Come back.
Absolutely. I want to ask you this question while you're here. Should Harry Kane make that move
to Chelsea?
Yeah.
No, not Chelsea. Just because there's so much going on right now with Chelsea that even though Chelsea have a history of winning things in turmoil, like they will they'll win the league, have a terrible season, and win the league again, or just have a terrible season but pop out of Europa League or something like that, or Champions League. Right now, I think if he's going to move, just move to a club that that will work. That is winning trophies here and now, and you won't have to flipping struggle to deal with the whole. Is the owner good enough? Is the club structure going to support me in this, or is it going to be all hell breaks loose when anything drops, when anything goes? You know what I mean? So yeah, I would say Man City, Liverpool, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, like those are the kind of clubs that you want to go to right now. Don't go to Chelsea. Definitely go to United. Definitely don't go to Barca. They won't be paying you in 2 years. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like just. If you're Harry Kane, stick to the main guys in Europe who are stable, who are steady, and definitely have a plan going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, everyone knows I don't think Chelsea. It does feel and look a little bit of a mess, but I don't think Chelsea are in this bad as a place as a lot of people are kind of making out, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I still feel like Chelsea over the next 5 years will be more successful than Spurs, and I just feel like it's a place for him to come in. The reason I'm bringing it up, it's more I kind of get that Levy might not do it. I get it will be expensive, but it's kind of a weird one where you'd expect. Like I'm seeing Chelsea fans like scream for certain players. Oh, we've got to go and get him. We've got to go and get him. Like I don't really hear it for Kane, and I still think there is a way of getting. I still think if a club has got the right ambition, offers the right kind of money, and gets into Harry Kane's ear, you could make him want to leave. Why do I think this? Because someone last year made him want to leave. Do you get where I'm coming from? I feel like there's a way, but it will certainly be intriguing. And Fofana is such an interesting one as well that they're now pushing for. I mean, they're going for another centre-back target. Do you feel like they're going to end up panicking Chelsea and end up spending big, like a 75, an 80, 85 million pound deal for someone like a Fofana? Or do you think they'll kind of get someone like him cheaper or go for an alternative? Because they've got to sign someone.
They definitely will spend the money. If you've got 55 million pounds to spend on Kounde, what's the extra 15 to Chelsea? You know, like what's the extra 15 million to go and get probably one of the best young centre backs in the Premier League in Fofana? I can see them doing it, you know. Leicester, I don't know what's going on with Leicester. Normally, they're very renowned for having astute business, for doing good business, getting good deals done. They've got nothing done. Absolutely nothing done. I think the only team in the top 5 leagues in Europe that hasn't signed a single player. Like you're gonna have to check that's right, but like that is a very damning stat to have. So if they could sell Fofana for 70 million, I think Leicester take that and they just go and reinvest into the squad.
What I was told this afternoon, which I thought was very interesting, is that Leicester actually have to sell before they can buy. So they're in a position where they financially, the club has basically said we've got to sell some people before we buy some people. So if that's the case, then it kind of makes sense because they haven't been able really to get rid of anybody either. I think they expected Tielemans to have gone as an example, and that kind of hasn't happened. You know, they've got Harvey Barnes at Newcastle were looking at him, and again, through the grapevine, maybe they're open to doing it, but they haven't offered enough money. So it's kind of, they're in a weird space at the minute, Leicester, because you would I don't know, like they've not given me that impression. I mean, that's only what I've been told. I don't know if it's true or not. Obviously, I'm only sort of passing on information, but look, they've got to pull their finger out. They've got to do something, because this is a team that we always looked at as an outside, a team who have an outside chance of finishing in the top 4. They're not finishing in the top 4 with this current squad. You know, they're just not. They're not even finishing top 6, top 7. They're just not. Not with the improvements everybody else around them's making. It's impossible.
I feel like Leicester have peaked with not only just their squad but their manager as well. I feel like when the murmurings of Rodgers leaving to go Man United, I know there's Man City talks as well. All these different things happening. I feel like that was when the team peaked, and now you don't even hear the likes of Ndidi getting a transfer. I remember 2-3 years ago, Ndidi was the DM that everyone wanted, the name that was getting banished around. You don't hear about Ndidi no more. You know what I mean? You don't hear about some of their players. Like Sionchu, he was supposed to be better than Harry Maguire. You know what I mean? Like all of this. You don't hear nothing about these guys anymore. So they've peaked.
But what happens as well as in peaking, a lot of these players were never as good as we all thought they were. Now, I think Ndidi as a defensive midfielder, breaking up play, protecting his backline, excellent. But Ndidi is like I'm going to say something that's going to piss people off. Passing the ball, he's no better than Scott McTominay.
I don't see anything wrong with that. He may be slightly better, but it's slightly better from McTominay ain't great. You know what I mean? Like,
so I think what happens is you're in a situation where teams go, "Oh, he's great at that," but then when he wins the ball back, what's his distribution like? So I think he was maybe overhyped by a lot of us as an example. Even with James Maddison, I really want to see Maddison get a move. The reason why is Maddison now needs to be tested at a proper big club. He needs to be tested in the Champions League week in, week out, because it's easier to do it at teams like Leicester. How many teams play low block against you? So you get a lot more time and space. You need to go and test yourself. And
remember the Maddison versus Grealish shouts and the battle they had. Obviously, Grealish has gone on to win the Premier League. You can argue how well he played, but he still got a Prem on his CV. You know what I mean? You need to buckle up.
Yeah, again, I'm not disrespecting your Nigerian brother, and I know you're laughing, but there's an element of truth in it. Like, I'll tell you who he reminds me of, Ndidi, but we saw him in the Prem, so there was a bit more hype. For about 7-8 years, every summer, there was a defensive midfielder that everybody wanted. No one watched him play, but everyone wanted him. And his name was William Carvalho. And you laugh because you all know, because we all did it. And you know, because you were probably at school when there was links, or back in the school when that happened. It was like, oh, he's a baller, man. He's a baller. You weren't watching him. I wasn't watching him.
Man's at Betis, and now he's getting linked to people like Nottingham Forest and Fulham. Like, remember Seri? Do you remember the season Seri was supposed to leave Nice and go to Barcelona or Man United, all these? But he went to Fulham and he's done niche. Napias Mendy, same thing, niche.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, absolutely like nothing at all. But it's not rare to see that happen. I think people just sometimes kind of. It's what I'm saying about a lot of Leicester players is a lot of Leicester's players have become what I call unfashionable. They were fashionable 2 or 3. It was two or 3 years ago to say, I love him, Ndidi. It was like a Twitter thing. I rate Ndidi. Ball, bruv. And once a player stops being fashionable for everyone to say, ball about, everybody stops focusing on them and talking about them and thinking about them as an example. Like, that's just the nature of the beast. But a lot of people saying Ndidi's better. Well, I'm going to look at something here, right? I'm going to do this while we're live on the air. So,
fun fact as well. Seri is now at Hull. Flipping hell.
Oh, wow. There we go. So, passing accuracy. One has 86%. One has, last year in the Prem, one has 80%. Who has the highest?
I'm actually going to say Scott McTominay is higher for the fact that he probably attempts more passes.
He does. So 80% is with Wilfred Ndidi. Ndidi attempts 39 passes per game. Scott McTominay attempts 35 passes per game. So less passes, high percentage. Okay. This is an interesting one. Pass accuracy, passing into the opponent's half. One has 72%. One has 84%.
Oh no, the 84 is I actually think that's McTominay because the way he likes to get forward and tries to actually play the ball forward.
And McTominay actually plays on average 5 more passes into his opponent's half per game than he does. Even when you go to it defensively, right? Defensively, I mean, interceptions. I could just give you Ndidi 2.2 per game. Scott McTominay 1. But you go successful tackles per game, exactly the same. Possession 1 per game, pretty much the same. 0.5 versus 0.4. Errors leading to shots, 1 last year from 1 from each of them. And then you start going into that possession loss. Indeed, losing it 12 times per game. Scott McTominay 9 times per game. Like statistically, statistically, there isn't a great deal of difference between them. I look, Ndidi breaking up play, winning the ball back, superior to him. That's the one thing that Ndidi's got over McTominay. So listen, someone said now McTominay or Ndidi in your team, I take Ndidi. The point I'm making is because he is superior at one thing, which is winning the ball back. But the reason that the Fabinhos of this world are so good is because they don't just win the ball back and then give possession away 12 times a game in their own half. They win possession and they progress the ball nicely, and that's key. We've got a super chat here, but because it's over £5, it's got to be done, people.
Come outside, Tottenham fans! Where are you?
Sorry, read it. Sorry, read it.
Sorry, genuine curious as to why Terry has a Spurs agenda. Why do the rivals want Kane to leave us? Why do you obsess with this? It's so ridiculous. I can answer that question for you. It's nothing to do with Tottenham. If you actually go back and watch my reaction to Spurs making the Champions League final, for the happiness my dad was feeling as a Tottenham fan, I was almost in tears. Not for me. I knew what it meant to my dad. So I have no anguish or annoyance at Tottenham. You're not listening to what I'm saying, unfortunately. I care about legacy. And I think Harry Kane is so good. I think he could end up being England's greatest ever striker. He could become the Premier League's greatest ever player in terms of individual achievements, goals scored, golden boots, etc. Goal scoring is the hardest thing to do in football. He could go down as one of the best anyway, but he will never be the best at any of these things if he doesn't win the major trophies. So if he was to say he went and joined Chelsea and won 2 or 3 Premier Leagues and a Champions League and 2 FA Cups and a League Cup in the next 6-7 years, he then has a legacy. Harry Kane's goals will always make him remembered, but it will never be remembered like an Henry. It will never be remembered like an Alan Shearer. Alan Shearer at least won the Premier League. It's different. When your goals win games that win trophies, it's a different type of legacy that lives on forever. Harry Kane is just going to basically have one of the best YouTube compilation reels, but you're never going to see him lifting a major trophy. And you can ask any player worth their salts, your individual records versus winning those major trophies, they'd give up. I guarantee if you went to Thierry Henry would give up half his goals and assists if it meant winning even more of the trophies that he won with those goals and assists. That's because, and that's why fans annoy me when they rave about individual awards. Players don't care about that. Ronaldo would give up all these Ballon d'Ors to have 2 more Champions Leagues. He would. 100%. If you would really, actually, nah.
Wait a second.
But honestly, it'd be a fair swap. Like, I guarantee you, there are a lot of players that go, listen, I'd much rather win 2 Champions Leagues than 1 Ballon d'Or. Because there's a different feeling for me. But
you'll take that.
Back to that point, there's no Tottenham agenda. It's just, I want to see Harry Kane do it because I think he's brilliant. I really do think he's brilliant. People saying, Cap, listen, the only fan bases who think that individual awards are more important than actual trophies are the ones whose GOAT didn't win very much. You know what I mean? Everybody else thinks the trophies are important. I'm not looking at any particular fan base, but there's one that does it a lot. Ironically, that fan base also lords up. They're the biggest club in the world because they've won the most amount of trophies. Unpopular. Hang on a minute. Hang on. It's another one over the fire.
Come outside, Tottenham fans! Where are you?
Someone said every time someone super chats over £5, you should play the Agal video. So I said, okay.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I wonder who said it.
Unpopular opinion, McTominay is not as bad as people make him out to be. There are so many pure footballing people that rate the guy. Is that a coincidence?
You know, McTominay is what McTominay is. The issue with McTominay at Man United, we want more from him that he just can't provide. And that's what it is. He's not overly I don't think he's a terrible footballer like that should never play the game again, but I just don't think he's the level that Man United fans want from a midfielder, especially in an attacking one, in terms of the box-to-box role, and especially from a defensive role. Like, that's all Scott McTominay's issue is. You whack Scott McTominay in a Burnley system when they was in the Prem, in Leeds, in a team lower down in the Premier League, I reckon you see a good player. Not one that everyone's shouting and raving about, but like a steady footballer. Like that, and that's what he is. He's just a steady footballer. It's just not what Man United need right now. He can grab a few goals, you know what I mean? He loves the battle in the midfield. His passing he can actually do some sick passing every now and then. It's just not consistent with it. So McTominay is not amazing, but he's not, he's right. He's not as bad as people say. He's just not what Man United fans want to see. That's his biggest issue.
Yeah, look, we've had a few players like him in the last 9 years, where Lingard's one of them. Scott McTominay is another, where we've had, I think where I've had to learn to readjust my own self is, and I want to make sure I say this in the right way. So as a Man United fan, I always had like this affinity with Henningbergs and David Mays. There was always a funny picture. Like I always remember I put a poster up in my school when we won the Champions League, and everyone was like, "Who's that? Who's that?" I was like, "Oh, that's Jonathan Greening, who played a handful of games that year, who was never good enough." We've always had players within our squads and teams, Darren Gibsons, who we all knew weren't good enough, but you kind of liked them. They were either bought cheaply or they came from the academy, and they were kind of there. They were fringe players, and every now and then they'd step into certain games. And there'd be the match winner or they'd be decisive. And you'd be like, "Oh, cheers, thank you." A bit better than all of them, I think, was Darren Fletcher as an example. Someone like Scott McTominay in a Man United squad with a manager good enough to win the league, who plays a big part in the season in terms of lots of appearances, but was never meant to be the main midfielder. Would come in, Scott McTominay under Fergie would have played against Wigan at home. He would have played in, the early rounds of cup competitions. Do you get where I'm coming from? He would have been the guy where we're playing a good Real Madrid team in the Champions League. And then Scott, your man marking Ronaldo all game. That's what Fergie would have. Did you get where I'm coming from? That's how Fergie would have used him. And that's where it's gone wrong. What we've tried to do too often with some mediocre players at Man United, and I'm talking mediocre on the elite level, is we've tried to make them the star. The fact that Jesse Lingard for a couple of years was like our starting right attacker, during Zlatan's time, he was like, hang on, have we gone from Beckham and Ronaldo and even Nani to a lesser extent to Lingard? Like he just ain't on their level.
And I like Jesse. I like Jesse a lot as well.
And what we ended up doing, someone here says Quinton Fortune. Quinton Fortune was another one. The Man United have always had players like this. And by the way, if you got Liverpool and Chelsea City fans, to be honest, they've probably got players they look at and go, "Oh, he ain't that good, really." But I'll give you a great example: James Milner. If James Milner, and if James Milner was meant to be the premier midfielder at either of the clubs he's at now, even when he was a bit younger, they wouldn't have achieved what they achieved. It's everything around it that's important, but people tend to kind of forget that. Super chat here says, Terry, if Henderson can do it, McTominay can too.
Let's not ignore the context of why that happened in terms of if Klopp. So I'm not saying Erik ten Hag couldn't do it, but we need to wait and see if that's transferable. Don't just whack that on there. It's possible, but again, the context is there. The Klopp system really helped out Henderson, and maybe it might, and maybe Ten Hag will help out McTominay. We will see. We will see.
Yeah, look, it could happen. I doubt it though. Like Scott's, I don't see Scott doing what Henderson did. A couple of years ago, I felt like maybe if he had the right manager and the right guidance, and to that original super chat about Scott McTominay, Fergie backs him, but you kind of think there's a bit of Scottish in there. Jose really likes him. What's going to be very intriguing is how much Ten Hag uses him. And I'm really intrigued to know, it's a bit like with Granit Xhaka at Arsenal. No one thinks he's good enough, but so far every manager has picked him. Now, you could argue that Wenger was past his best, Emery flopped, and Arteta ain't elite, people say, right? Be interesting if Arteta leaves in a year, Xhaka's still there, they get a world-class manager, and he picks him as well. Do you get where I'm coming from? Maybe sometimes there are footballers that we just don't get.
There's things in football that there's players that they just like, you know what I mean? Whether it's the application, whether it's the fact that you can rely on them, whatever it is, players just like certain players that you look at and you're like, wait, but why though? You know what I mean? Like, why do you like him? Like, it's just the way football goes.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. We've got another one here, which of course is going to get.
Come outside, Tottenham fans. Where are you?
You're saying that Kane won't win a major trophy at Spurs like it's a fact. You don't know that. The reason why we hired Conte was to win. I don't know it as a fact. And it's my opinion, though. And this is something that's a complete opinion because you can't give me a fact that makes my opinion wrong. It's because we're predicting something that's going to happen. It's based on opinion, but I'm predicting it based on the fact that if Daniel Levy gives Antonio Conte for 3 or 4 years complete control and power, you can win something. I don't trust Daniel Levy. Conte will leave. Conte will leave. Tottenham won't win anything major. So that major, by the way, means Prem or Champions League. FA Cup. FA Cup's a big trophy. It doesn't, and I'm talking legacy, it doesn't carry the prowess it used to.
Yeah, if you only won an FA Cup, you're still like, man,
now,
yeah.
It does to me. I love the FA Cup. However, I'm talking up the football legacy you have is fickle to a certain degree, but it's based in popularity. So your legacy is derived by what people think of you and what you've won and achieved. If he wins 2 FA Cups at Spurs, the way people feel about the FA Cup nowadays, they're not going to go, oh, you didn't achieve that much then. If he won 2 or 3 FA Cups 20, 30 years ago, different. You know, it's just
I'm going to say this here. I reckon if Spurs won the Europa League with Harry Kane won the Europa League with Spurs, that will get more memory in modern day than winning the FA Cup with Spurs.
It could do. It could do. There's a lot more eyes on it now than anywhere else. It could, and you get a Champions League spot at the end of it. You really, really do. But there we go.
Also, they're my favourites for the Europa League, by the way. Just letting you know.
It's Spurs. Well, they're going to go out in a group.
They'll be third.
Yeah. Comment here says Chelsea are in the mud. Even Kounde joined Barcelona. I mean, yeah, they've lost out a lot. Go and get Skriniar, Nunez, and Kane. I mean, if you went and signed those 3 now, you'd almost be like, why didn't you just go and get those 3? I mean, it's a bit like, if they land Fofana, there's a part of me thinking, well, Fofana's better than Kounde, maybe. Like, it's crazy. But there we go. Terry, do you think Cucurella will be done? Yeah, I think Cucurella will go. It's hard, though, because you've got to remember, Cucurella's actual valuation with the leading consultants is £25 million. Brighton want double that at 50 million. So even though they've got loads of money, Man City, that's double the asking price of the player. Absolute double the asking price of the player. It's crazy, but there we go. People, listen, I really do appreciate you all coming on and having your say, sticking with us when we had the little power cutting problem here. Make sure you hit the like button before you leave. Make sure you subscribe. And of course, you scan that QR code on the screen and get signed up now to your private internet access VPN. 82% it works out we can get you off, and 3 months free on top. £1.63 per month to secure all your data online. Go and get that done now. But until next time, take care. Oh, hang on, did we hit the likes levels? No, we didn't hit 850 likes. Next time, get them so I can give out some more free memberships. And I'll see you all again soon, people. Look after yourselves.